It's in the game.
Give me a break, need another life. Oh, need another life. Give me a break, need another life.
Arsenal have the lead and the away goal advantage. Normally, you'd probably say they're 90 minutes away from their first final in the Champions League since 2006. But Real Madrid are Real Madrid for a reason. So tonight we find out who will be the UEFA Champions League finalists. You've got Arsenal with a 1-goal advantage over Real Madrid in their second leg tonight, and it is finally poised between Paris Saint-Germain and AC Milan. Arsenal coming to this match tonight with a 1-goal lead and an away goals advantage. But of course, this is still Real Madrid. But bear in mind, the Emirates has been pretty much a fortress over the course of the season, with Arsenal only losing maybe once or even twice. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be easy. Real Madrid are Real Madrid for a reason. And this team that comes out for Arsenal tonight cannot afford any complacency. They may have the lead, they may have the away goal advantage, but as we've said many times, Real Madrid is Real Madrid for a reason. And they can come out of anywhere at any time. But the win was certainly the surprise going into this one for Arsenal. It certainly was. We know the Bernabeu is one of the most intimidating stadiums in the world. So for Arsenal to come even with a goal advantage was certainly a surprise. I really rate this orange kit, by the way. I just really thought I'd point that out. I really do like it. That's a really nice looking colour for the orange kit today that Real Madrid have come out with. I think it's pretty much the same team who started at the Bernabeu in the first leg, aside from Jude Bellingham who comes in. Modric makes the bench again, but Bellingham is the only change for the main 11. Alexander Isak there, sitting on 14 goals for the Champions League this season. I think that's pretty much going to make him top scorer no matter what, unless the people behind him score an abundance of goals in the next 2 games. But I think most of those people will now had their teams eliminated, with only Paris Saint-Germain and AC Milan left, obviously discounting these two. And that's already an early foul committed by Real Madrid. We barely played a minute and a half, and already someone looks like they're going to go into the book. I think that's Rodrigo, it is. And he's going to have to be careful for about 89 minutes now, because he's going to have to have that carrying around with him. That's a foul on Yuri and Timber. So I think Arsenal are one top defender down, with Yuri and Timber coming in place of either Saliba or Gabriel. I'm not really sure which one it is yet. I probably should have paid more attention to the lineup, to be honest. Actually, both of them are out. It's Calvori and Timber that are there today. So no Saliba or Gabriel. So Real Madrid will look to take advantage of that, because Saliba and Gabriel have been the cornerstone of the Arsenal defence this season. But of course, they've got to try and beat David Raya as well, who was inspired to a clean sheet in the first leg. And I think also kept a clean sheet in Arsenal's latest Premier League game as well. So Raya is really starting to rack up the clean sheets now. And what a time to do it. So Alexander Isak, the 14 goals he has scored now, puts him on 44 for the season, plus his FA Cup goals, which I think he's about on 5. So Isak is approaching 60 goals for the season, which is really remarkable. In the studio, gets a tackle in now. Is he going to try and get the ball around Raya? He is, but Raya makes himself big and forces it out for a corner. Real Madrid immediately coming out of the block, swinging. They need to do that because they need to get 2 goals at the very least to go through right now. The one away goal here would cancel the away advantage out, so Arsenal need to try and keep them out, but that's easier said than done with Real when Madrid is concerned. But if David Raya keeps making saves like this, then it won't be a problem. Hopefully we won't put a commentator's curse on it, as we have done many times throughout the course of this season, and not just for him either, for other ones too. Then they headed away by Ben White. Valverde gets it, but Isaac immediately closes him down. Bad pass from Isaac though. Carvajal, you cannot afford to be sloppy with the ball. Rodrigo's going to find a pocket of space to run into. Zinchenko and Timber have gone there. Oh, it's a penalty given. The referee's pointed to spot. Oh dear. And they really were in a haste to get the ball off Rodrigo, but he forced the foul. It was committed by Timber. It's a penalty. Oh, well, David Raya has been splendid at saving shots, but he's faced very few penalties this season. Also, we've had a very good disciplinary record when you think about it. Here comes Mbappé. And it's Tally gets a chip. And Mbappé scores. And that is the away goal immediately wiped out for Arsenal now. As it stands, it would go to extra time and penalties. Never any doubt. Never any doubt when Kylian Mbappé is involved. David Raya was bamboozled, went the wrong way. And that's the talent and, what's the word? Cleverness, I guess, by Kylian Mbappé. That's his 9th goal of the season, so he's not too far off Alexander Isak, but there's only been 2 games left, 1 game left, discounting this one. There's 2 games left, obviously, including this one. So Arsenal now need to play their best, because now their away goal advantage is wiped out. And it's 1-0 on the night, 1-0 on the night to Real Madrid, 1-0 on aggregate scoreline. The away goal is now cancelled out. So we will go to extra time penalties if it stays this way, which Arsenal will not want to happen. And immediately, here comes Bukayo Saka and Isak. And you would put your house on Isak scoring from there. What a rare miss that is by Alexander Isak. That's a simple tap-in, really. What happened? I wonder if he hit the wrong part of the ball. That's a phenomenal miss by Alexander Isak, a man who's got almost 60 goals for the season. And that's probably one of the easiest he will probably get in his life, but he went wrong. It surely has been a campaign to remember, though, for Alexander Isak, despite whatever happens in these last, let's say, maybe about 5 or 6 games that Arsenal have, including this one. Oh, Kylian Mbappé absolutely made mincemeat of Calvori. Arsenal are in trouble. And Timber gets the last second challenge, and this time he doesn't give away a penalty. And I thought Mbappé was on to score. Arsenal were in real trouble there. They're living dangerously here. Tukamendi tackled by Valverde, and now Carvajal, and now Valverde again, and Real Madrid are coming out swinging here today. We said they couldn't be complacent, Arsenal. They might not even have a choice in the matter. Valverde, good save by David Raya. Is Vinicius Jr. going to get there? Yes, he is. He's going to be offside anyway. Well, Real Madrid have come out swinging. Arsenal had all the cards in their hands going into this one, but it's Real Madrid, isn't it? But still, I would say no matter what happens tonight, Arsenal to reach the Champions League semi-finals is really an achievement. They have got the squad to compete with Europe's elite, if not beat them, and that is always a good sign. But today, can't afford any more goals. But, like we said, that's easier said than done. Oh God, bad pass. Tukamendi picks it off. Rodrigo's got to be careful for the rest of the game. He picked up an early yellow card. And then it was him that actually got the penalty from Mbappé to score. And, well, his toes are offside, more or less. Going to Declan Rice, Timber. And Timber and Calvori, decent defenders in their own right, but Arteta really will be missing Gabriel and Saliba right now. Probably should have played them. Maybe they had, obviously they came off the Premier League match. So probably fatigue maybe counted a little bit. Valverde. Oh, shoot! Oh! That right. Didn't even attempt to save it. He was probably trying to find where it was going. Valverde, the captain. Header there by Isa. That right, got an assist during the last Premier League game they had. So I believe it was Bournemouth. Carvalho to Bellingham. I'm just looking at this Real Madrid's team. It's stacked. Always is. Here's Mbappé! And Arsenal living very dangerously. They're finding Mbappé almost impossible to deal with, as you would probably expect. This could be a long night for Arsenal if Mbappé gets more chances like that. And Real Madrid started this season as Super Cup winners over Atlanta. And now it looks like, well, as of right now, they're not in the Champions League final yet. But they're certainly the best of these two teams at the moment. Oh, and Saka almost got there ahead of Mendy. Mendy gets ahead of Moreno, just about gets there. Clears it away for a Real Madrid throw. Pepe. Now here's Vinicius Jr. The ball in. I think it was towards Bellingham and Zinchenko heads it out. We really hope it's not a case of so near and yet so far for Arsenal in the Champions League. They were last in the final back in 2007, I believe, against Barcelona. And Mendy, oh, it's a splendid save by David Raya out for a corner. And look at it, that is a stunning strike by Mendy to get it off from that angle. It's a fantastic save by David Raya. He has been tremendous to watch this season. Such an integral piece of the puzzle. A splendid signing that started a revolution here at Arsenal, to be fair. It's culminated in this season being ever closer to something. But right now, they need to probably get their shooting boots back on, because they're behind on the night, level on aggregate, and kind of don't look like scoring right now. If anything, I'd probably say Real Madrid look more like scoring, which would be a shame for Arsenal anyway. And it's just the power that Real Madrid possess. Odegaard to Trossard, who was a top scorer for a long time with his 7 or 8 goals against the young boys, but now here's this man, Alexander Isak, who has 14 and is offside for that occasion. It was saved by Courtois anyway. Fabio Courtois probably had his best days at Chelsea, but is still more than capable of putting on his best night. And right now he's doing it. There's Valverde. And look at the gap he has. Arsenal need to close these gaps down. Valverde, brilliant piece of skill. And Pembe is tackled by Zinchenko. He'll put that in his scrapbook. But it's a Real Madrid throw in any case. There's Rodrigo. All he needs to do is put a semi-good ball in here. In comes Vinicius Jr. to shoot, and he's wide. He probably should have been more of that, to be honest. Is that clock always supposed to say 3 o'clock? Because if it is, it's wrong. I'm not sure. I'll probably have to ask the missus that one. I've actually just noticed that now. We've been going to the Emirates all season. I've only just noticed that. So I'm going to have to kind of do some research on that one. Of course, Highbury was synonymous with that clock before Arsenal moved to the Emirates. In 2008, I think it was. Actually, that might have been 2006, because I think I remember, I think it was like 05, 06, where Arsenal had the really nice looking kit for that year. Kind of wouldn't mind seeing that again, to be honest. Like I said, I really rate this orange kit that Madrid are using. Valverde. Oh, he's going to pick out Mbappé. It's a killer pass. And in comes Vinicius Jr. and it's 2-0 to Real Madrid. Arsenal absolutely split open. Wonderful pass. And then Mbappé and Vinicius Jr. did the rest. And Arsenal now are in trouble. Well, that's wonderful play from Madrid. It's something that they probably missed in the first leg, to be fair. Raya tries his best, but now it's looking a bit dire. Now Real Madrid are ahead on the night and the aggregate scoreline, with the away goals being absolutely cancelled out to the point where if Arsenal were to score one now, Arsenal would go out. So they need to score now 3 to win. And, well, they only need 2 to get back ahead, of course. So it'd be like 3-2 on aggregate here. But right now, Arsenal haven't really had a sniff of a chance. And Mbappé has been absolutely impossible to deal with. Rodrigo is offside. Well, Arsenal is not going their way at the moment. And they're on for probably one of their worst performances of the season. We've not really said that much. But as we've always said, Real Madrid is Real Madrid for a reason. But Arsenal really haven't looked at their scoring best, which is really a rarity. From Zinchenko to try and change things. It's ahead of Valverde, only momentarily though. He goes right back for it. Zinchenko fighting for the ball. Oh, he's been punished with a foul. That's incredibly harsh. That is incredibly harsh given against Zinchenko there. Fighting for the ball. Yes, we should punish rash tackles, but not simple fight that Zinchenko was showing there. Really harsh to give in my view. Well, Arsenal aren't invincible. They haven't been for some time. The invincible season was gone at the Etihad Stadium when they lost, I think it was 4-3 in the end. Carvajal has been booked. I'm going to see what for. It's a foul on Trossard. That's 2 players in the book now that are going to be careful with the second half. As you can see there, the badges on the Real Madrid shirt, 15 Champions League titles, I think that means for Real Madrid. That's what I'm assuming it means. And that's just much about powerhouse they are, especially when it comes to European competition. And the fact that Arsenal have made as much of a game as they can out of this is more than admirable. But tonight they're probably going to fall short right now. And that would be a dreadful shame. Here's Zizan. Trossard trying to pass Carvajal. Courtois comes out and gathers it. Brilliant goalkeeping again. There's Valverde to Mbappé. Mbappé shoots. And saved by David Raya. Vinicius Jr. gets it off Ben White. Jude Bellingham. He's wide. And that'll probably be the last action of the first half. As Mikel Arteta has to try and think of something to see if he can get his team back into this game, because right now Real Madrid have definitely looked on top of them in the scoreline, on the aggregate scoreline, and very much everywhere else, which is a rarity for this Arsenal side. And well, the Emirates has been such a fortress ground for Arsenal this season, only losing at least twice. Here today, they look second best, but it's Real Madrid, isn't it? Arsenal 0, Real Madrid 2 rather. Well, welcome back to the Emirates Stadium, a stadium which has been a fortress this year for Arsenal, as they've only lost 2 home games all season long in all competitions, or maybe even 3, if my memory serves me, but today they're struggling. 2-0 down against Real Madrid. They had the away goal and the goal advantage going into this match, but Real Madrid have pretty much come out swinging from the off, and Arsenal just haven't been able to really keep up, which is a rarity for them, considering the scoring pedigree they've had. Isak has been literally ineffective, save for a couple of maybe half chances, and here he goes, he's on the run. Here's Moreno of all people. And that looked very compact and pretty all close together. And I think it might catch Arsenal out here. There's Junior. He's full Calvorian foul. Mbappe 3-0. And that is pretty much game over. Real Madrid absolutely on top in a rare event here. And Arsenal had all the cards in their favour. It's not complacency, but it is just how good Real Madrid are. And in particular, that man. Mbappé's at the beating of this team all night. And Ryan, not much else he can do. And, well, unless an absolute miracle happens and Arsenal do get their shooting boots on, it looks pretty dire, doesn't it? Arsenal 0. Madrid 3, that puts Mbappé on 10, and that puts him 4 behind Isak now. And he's on for more. Here he comes again. And Arsenal, what did they do? They're definitely missing Gabriel and Saliba. That's... Oh, and Raya, wow. That's a rare error from him. Well, they are the Titans of Europe for a reason. They won the Super Cup at the beginning of the year, and, well, just to compound matters for Arsenal, really. They will be facing one of the toughest stadiums in Milan. They're going to Anfield for a match with Liverpool, who themselves are chasing a Champions League spot. And Arsenal need to try and win to stay on top of the table. And right now, they'll be probably somewhat lucky that this is a Champions League game and not a Premier League game right now, because they would probably go off the top of considering City's second half of season form, which has been pretty much mirroring, say, maybe Chelsea in the Women's Super League. Definitely Manchester United in the Women's Super League. That's going down to the final day, of course, later this week. Junior, brought out by Calvori. Junior gets some space, good save by Ryan, headed in by Mbappé. He should have scored, but he's offside anyway. Well, Real Madrid really being caught offside a lot in this game. Arsenal barely had a sniff. It's a rare event for Alexander Isak in particular. Moreno. Saka. And Bukayo Saka. He's cutting inside there. Pretty much how he would do. Well, Arsenal aren't totally out of it. They have to win the game now. 3-3 on aggregate wouldn't do it. Saka. Pretty much a desperation shot, to be honest. 3-3 on the night would send Arsenal through by 4-3. And to be honest, tonight, for once, they don't look like doing it, which is a rare event. Arsenal have been scoring for fun, mostly 4s and 5s. But today, they haven't even got one. Kind of incredible when you think about it. There's Mbappe again. Arsenal just a step slow. Vinicius Jr., good save by Raya. Rodrigo puts it in, and that's game over now. 4-0. 4-0 against Arsenal. Well, they say strange things can happen in football. This is a strange thing for sure. Maybe not entirely unexpected, given Real Madrid's caliber. But certainly from the position Arsenal are in, this is probably a disappointing night for them. Arsenal 0, Real Madrid 4. And that pretty much settles the tie. That's 4-1. And, well, I don't think even Arsenal can make a comeback of this magnitude. Certainly not on the evidence of the first 64 minutes. Valverde, look at how much space he has. Arsenal just not up to snuff defensively so far. Here's Rodrigo. Saka. Anything Arsenal get now will be probably nothing more but a consolation, really. They're not going to get it with crosses like that from Bukayo Saka. Unfortunate, really. Good tackle by Martin Odegaard. And now Isak. To the side. And David Alba's coming on once again for Carvajal. Very similar to how it turned out in the first leg. Arsenal also making substitutions, and Alexander Isak would be making way for Kai Havertz then. So that's probably for Liverpool. Moreno's also coming on for Jorginho, and Nwaneri's coming on for, I think it's Theo Trossard. So, somewhat load management. There's not really much point keeping Isak on now. Jorginho came on for Moreno. And Pepe to Vinicius Jr. to make it 5. Timber blocks it out. Well, Kai Havertz has been somewhat the comeback kid for Arsenal this season, but I don't think even he can make a comeback possible here. Arsenal don't look like scoring, really. The first 70 minutes, they've definitely been second best. And here's going to be a free kick for Zinchenko. It's a bit far out, really. This would probably be a few steps in. It probably would be Declan Rice territory, because he did score that free kick against Fulham. And Zinchenko's free kick is straight into the arms of Courtois. Here's Odegaard. Mendy cuts that pass out. Pepe again, and finally Arsenal get a challenge in on him. Zinchenko. And Yeri. And now Declan Rice, of all people. And Courtois denies him as well. Valverde. Real Madrid can really just cruise to the end of the game, more or less. Rodrigo taking 2 stabs at it, and the referee is giving a free kick to Arsenal. As Akanji is coming on for Milito. I'm pretty sure Akanji was at Borussia Dortmund, or even Chelsea or Manchester City for that matter. So he's at Real Madrid now, actually. That's a transfer we definitely missed out on if that happened. I'm pretty sure he was a City player at one point. Well, here's Declan Rice. Nothing more of a consolation for Arsenal at this point. Kai Havertz. Oh. Well, it's just Arsenal's night. And don't forget, Isak missed a pretty simple goal earlier. So I think he'll be probably really ruining that now. And for a man of Isak's amount of goals, certainly was a surprise. Piece of skill there by Vinicius Jr. 9 minutes to go. It's just a real first gear drive to the finish line for Real Madrid today. Forward to Rice. Oh, Calvori tackled by Mbappe. He does make up for it and gets the ball though. Could have been another dangerous moment for Arsenal. And for once, Arsenal just haven't looked at it. And it's probably going to be a worrying kind of sign for Mikel Arteta perhaps. Let's hope, maybe, that this doesn't transfer back to the Premier League, because today they've had the stuffing knocked out of them. Mbappe again, probably going to have a hat-trick or even a double hat-trick by now. So many chances today. Well, even Kai Havertz can't make a comeback from here. They were saved in the FA Cup round by him against Chelsea, but today is a whole different ball game, and it really has been a whole different ball game to what has been the norm this season, and that's been Arsenal scoring abundance of goals, having fun and winning games. Odegaard gets one, but it's going to be nothing more than a consolation. I don't know why he's flipping about. Really, he shouldn't be celebrating at all. I mean, it is against the club that, sadly, he never really got a shoe-in, to be fair. But Martin Odegaard, well, he gets one. It's sadly nothing more than a consolation in the context of the game. Odegaard's happy about it. I don't think anyone else is, though. But still, you know what? To get to this stage from where they were a few years ago, and Arsenal were considered the worst of the lockdown teams, let's say, before Arteta won the FA Cup in 2020. Arsenal were considered the worst lockdown team of all time by people. So to be at this stage from that particular moment, Kai Havertz has scored, and all of a sudden, well, maybe it's not a consolation. Surely it's too late for another comeback, right? I kind of hope not, but all of a sudden, I think this game has had some life in it. But as we were saying, Arsenal, obviously one of the banter teams of the lockdown, if you believe the people that were commenting on social media about them. So to come from that to the semi-finals of the Champions League, leading the Premier League, and on the verge of winning it. And don't forget, being 5 and 1 point respectively over the last 2 seasons of winning the Premier League. Here comes Havertz and Saka. Well, it wasn't Saka, it was it Saka? Yes, it was. If he picked out Havertz there, we would have had a very nervy last few moments. But then again, the away goals rule still would have sent Arsenal out tonight. But at least there's some... and Rodrigo. A good save from Raya, to be fair. Arsenal can hold their heads up high tonight. They put up a fight against Real Madrid. They lost the league phase. They got a surprise win in the first leg. But ultimately, over 2 legs, Real Madrid was sadly for them just too much. And it's a shame. But like we said, from where Arsenal were to where they are, they can be proud of their efforts today. But really, you could maybe argue that they should have won from the position they came in tonight. Don't forget they had an away goal rule advantage and the goal lead. It's a bitter pill. Arsenal 2, Real Madrid 4. And to tell you the story in the other game, Milan and Paris Saint-Germain finished 1-1, which was 2-2. And then Paris Saint-Germain winning 4-3 in a penalty shootout means it's a Galactico final, more or less. Well, a giant final anyway, of Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain. To update you on the other finals, we have Tottenham Hotspur taking on Lyon. And in the conference final, which we will also bring to you, Wolfsburg will be taking on SC Braga in a rather interesting match when you think about it.